Ray and Malik moved slowly through the silent alien village. Dust covered everything like a gray blanket. Broken houses leaned on each other like tired giants. The wind carried a strange smell, something between burned wood and wet metal. He kept his scanner close to his chest. It beeped softly every few seconds, the signal of the distress call he was sent to investigate. But the deeper he walked, the louder the scanner became, as if begging him to turn back. He ignored it. He had a job to do. The sun was low behind the red mountains. Long shadows stretched across the ground like cold fingers. Rayan felt a strange pressure in the air. Not danger exactly, but something heavy, something watching him. He tried not to think about it. The distress call had come from this exact village. Someone had called for help. Someone might still be alive. He stepped over a cracked wall and entered what looked like the town square. In the center stood a circle of black stone pillars. Each one was shaped like a twisted spine. The scanner began to beep fast. Rayan's heart beat faster too. He felt he was close. Then he heard it, a soft sound. A small crack. Not from stone breaking. More like breath. A whisper. Rayan turned. There was no one. He took one more step, and then the whisper came again. A little stronger this time. He aimed his flashlight toward the pillars, and then he froze. She was there, an alien girl, maybe 16 or 17, with silver hair falling over her face. Her eyes glowed faint blue. Her skin shimmered like water under moonlight. But the strangest part was not her beauty or her glow. It was her body. She was trapped in the ground, up to her waist. Black stone covered her legs like a giant block of frozen lava. Her hands rested weakly on the surface. Her breath was shallow. The whisper came again. This time he understood it. Please don't leave me. Rayan stood still. He had seen many strange things in space, but never anything like this. He stepped forward slowly. I am here to help, he said. The girl looked up at him. Her eyes widened, not with fear, but with hope. I knew a human would come, she whispered again. Her voice was soft and tired. Rayan crouched near her and touched the stone. It felt cold, but alive. He scanned it. His device flashed red dot warning voidstone ancient execution material impossible to break. Rayan swallowed. This was bad. Voidstone was known across many worlds. Not even plasma cutters could damage it. Whoever trapped her here wanted her to suffer. They wanted her to die slowly. How long have you been trapped? He asked. She looked away. Many nights. I don't know how many. I only see the sky and the moon. I wait every day. I hoped someone would hear my voice. Rayan looked around the empty village. Everything was broken and burned. It was clear that no one else had survived. But why her? Why only one left behind? What happened here? He asked. The girl closed her eyes. My name is Alira. My people believed I carried dangerous light. They feared I would bring ruin. They thought locking me in the ground would stop it. Rayan could not understand. She looked weak, not dangerous. Her glow was soft like a candle. Her voice shook with exhaustion. She looked like someone who needed protection, not punishment. Is the light a weapon? Rayan asked. No, Alira said. I don't know why they feared it. I was born with it. They never explained. They only said I was a risk. Rayan felt anger rising inside him. A whole village had burned, and this girl had been left alive only to suffer. But why, if they feared her, they could have taken her? Instead, they buried her. Why? Before he could ask more, the scanner beeped again. Not a warning this time. A detection movement. Alira opened her eyes wide. Her face turned pale. They are coming back. Rayan looked around quickly. He heard faint footsteps. Slow, heavy, careful. Not animals. Not machines. Something else. Something that knew this village well. Something that did not want Alira to be free. "Who is coming?" he whispered the hunters. "She said they check on me every night. They want to see if the light is growing. If it grows too much, they will finish me." Rayhan felt a cold chill run down his spine. Hunters, he had heard stories about them. Ruthless soldiers from distant tribes who protected ancient laws with brutal force. If they saw him here, they would not let him leave. Alira grabbed his arm weakly. "Please, don't leave me here. You can weaken the stone. Only humans can. Your life energy reacts to my light. I don't know why. But you can help me break free." Rayhan stared at the void stone again. It had tiny cracks glowing faint blue. Maybe she was right. Maybe he could help. But the footsteps were getting closer. The sky was turning dark. Time was almost gone. He looked at Alira, trembling and helpless. Then he looked at the shadows, growing between the ruins. He had to choose. Now run for his own life, or stay and free the girl everyone else feared. Rayhan took a deep breath, placed his hand on the stone ant. Everything began to shake. Asterisk. The ground vibrated under Ryan's hand as soon as he touched the void stone. It felt like a heartbeat trapped inside the earth. A faint crack spread under his palm like a thin line of light. Alira gasped softly, her eyes glowing brighter for a moment. Rayhan felt a wave of warm energy pass through him. But it was the sound behind him that made his blood freeze. Footsteps, slow, steady, heavy. Not the walk of a traveler. Not an animal wandering. It was the rhythm of a group moving together. Hunter's Alira's voice trembled. "They are close. They always come when the moon rises. They never miss a night." Rayhan looked around quickly. The ruined buildings offered only broken shadows. He could not hide Alira. She was out in the open, trapped in stone. Her glow was growing brighter with every second. It was like a small beacon in the dark, and anyone searching would see her easily. The footsteps grew louder. Rayhan crouched low behind one of the fallen pillars. He kept his eyes above the edge, watching the direction of the sound. The air thinned. Even the wind stopped moving. That was the first real sign. Hunters moved like that. Nature held its breath around them. 3 figures stepped into the town square. They were tall, with armor made from carved bone plates. The plates were painted with dark blue marks. Their faces were covered with masks shaped like the skulls of some ancient beast. Each one carried a long spear that hummed with a sharp electric sound. Their steps were slow but confident. They already knew no one here could fight them. Alira's breathing turned sharp. "They were the ones who sealed me. They said it was mercy. They said the light must never leak. But they lied. They want the light for themselves." Rayhan stayed still. One wrong move and they would notice him. The 3 hunters walked in a circle around Alira. They inspected the stone, the cracks, the glow. One of them tapped the void stone with his spear. "The glow is stronger tonight. She will awaken soon. We must end her before sunrise," another replied. "If she awakens, she will break the ground. The light will choose its guardian. We cannot allow that. Not again." Rayhan did not understand their words completely, but he knew one thing clearly. They wanted Alira dead before the next day. And they would kill her slowly, without hesitation. Alira closed her eyes tight. They think the light is a weapon. They think it will make them powerful. The 3rd hunter leaned close to Alira. He grabbed her chin and lifted her face roughly. "Your time is over, girl. Your people abandon you. No one will save you." Rayhan's fists tightened. He knew he could not fight 3 armored hunters with only a small scanner and a broken plasma cutter. But he could not stand and watch either. He pulled a flare from his belt. It was bright, loud, and could distract them for a moment. Only one moment, but maybe that was enough. He threw it as far as he could. The flare burst in a loud crack. A bright white flash lit up the ruins. All three hunters turned sharply, their spears raised, their attention fixed on the light. They moved toward it in formation, thinking maybe some outsider had entered the village. Rayan ran to Alira, fast but careful. "This is our only chance. The cracks are reacting. I can weaken the stone, but you need to guide me." Alira nodded weakly. "Place your hands on the brightest lines. My light will push into you. It will feel strange, but do not stop." Rayan placed both hands on the glowing cracks. A pulse of energy rushed through his fingers, then up his arms. It felt like hot wind flowing inside his veins. The stone trembled. More cracks spread out like glowing branches. Alira bit her lip to stop herself from crying out. The light inside her chest flickered faster. "Hurry, they will return soon." Rayan pushed harder. The stone shook again. A small piece broke off and fell to the ground like burned glass. Then a sharp shout echoed from the ruins. The hunters had discovered the flare. Their footsteps thundered against the ground now. They were running back fast. Rayan kept pressing his hands against the stone. Everything around him shook. Alira whispered, "Do not stop. If they reach us, they will kill you first. They fear humans more than they fear me." Rayan felt his heart racing, but he did not pull back. He knew now there was no turning back. Either he freed her where the hunters would end both of them before dawn. The cracking noise grew louder as Rayan pressed his hands deeper into the glowing lines of the void stone. His skin felt hot as if fire moved under it. A strange pressure ran up his arms and into his chest. It was not pain, but something heavy, strong, and living. Alira watched him with wide eyes, her glow flickering like a candle fighting the wind. "You are weakening it," she whispered. "No one has ever weakened voidstone before. Only a human can do this." Rayan did not know why humans had this effect, but he did not have time to question it. Behind them, the hunters were already returning. Their angry shouts echoed off the broken walls. Their footsteps pounded like drums. Rayan felt the ground shake under each step. He pushed harder. The energy inside the stone pulsed again. Another crack shot across the surface. A deeper one this time. Alira flinched as a shock of light ran through her body. Her hands gripped the edge of the stone. Rayan looked at her. "Does it hurt?" "It does, but it also frees me," she said softly. "Do not stop." "This is the only way." Rayan nodded and pressed again. For a moment, everything went quiet. The stone hummed under his palms. The cracks glowed bright blue. He felt as if Alira's heartbeat was echoing through the stone into him. Something ancient was alive inside the rock, and it was finally breaking. A sharp sound cut through the silence. The hunters reached the edge of the square. Their eyes glowed behind their masks. Their spears crackled with electric current. One of them pointed at Rayan. "The human is trying to free her." "Stop him now." Rayan kept pressing the stone. His breath came fast. He knew he could not fight all three. His only chance was to break the stone before they reached him. Alira looked at him with fear. "They will kill you first. Humans can control the light. They fear that more than anything." Rayan took a breath and pushed with both hands. A loud crack exploded across the surface. Pieces of the void stone fell away. The hunters roared in anger and charged forward. Their armor clattered like metal bones. The first hunter lunged with his spear. Rayan rolled to the side. The spear hit the ground and sent a burst of sparks into the air. The hunter swung again. Rayan grabbed a metal plate from the debris and used it as a shield. The impact pushed him back, but he stayed on his feet. He ran back to the stone. Alira reached for him weakly. Her voice trembled. "You cannot fight them alone. The stone must break, or I will die here. Rayan placed his hands again. His arms felt numb, but he pushed through the feeling. More cracks spread. The glow erupted outward like thin lightning. The second hunter raised his spear. Step away, human. The light is not yours. It belongs to us. Rayan ignored him. He pushed harder. The stone groaned. Something deep inside, it shifted like a giant waking up. The third hunter moved to flank him. They were closing in from all sides. Rayan's heart hammered in his chest. He did not know what he was doing anymore. He only knew he could not leave Alira trapped. Her voice rose again. Rayan, listen. The light inside me reacts to your life energy. When you touch the cracks, you give the stone something it cannot hold. You are breaking an ancient rule. That is why they fear us together. Her glow spread across the stone surface, touching Rayan's hands. His fingertips burned with heat. More pieces of stone broke off. A thin ring formed around her waist, almost free. The first hunter shouted, "Enough." Finish the human. They ran forward. A spear swung at Rayan's head. He ducked. Another stab came from the right. He blocked it with the broken metal plate. Sparks flew. The vibrations shook his arms. The hunters were fast-trained and deadly. Alira lifted her hand weakly. Rayan placed both hands. All of your strength. One last push, Rayan pressed both palms against the widest crack. The stone reacted instantly. A deep vibration shot through him. The ground trembled. A blinding blue light shot up from the stone. The hunters froze for a moment. The stone screamed like something ancient breaking after centuries. And then a thunderous sound filled the air as the entire top layer of the void stone shattered into pieces. Alira gasped as her legs moved for the first time in days. But she was still not fully free. Rayan had weakened the stone, but the lower half still held her tight. The hunters roared in rage. They charged again faster than before. Rayan prepared. Himself, the impossible stone had finally cracked. But this fight was far from over. Asterisk. The hunters charged forward as the shattered pieces of void stone scattered around Rayan's feet. Dust rose. Blue light flickered across the broken ground. Alira's legs were still stuck in the lower half of the stone block. She twisted in pain, trying to pull herself free, but the stone held her like iron roots. Rayan knew he had only seconds. The first hunter swung his spear straight toward Rayan's chest. Rayan ducked and rolled, feeling the electric charge from the weapon slice the air above him. He grabbed another broken metal plate and used it as a shield. The second hunter stabbed from the left. The impact sent a jolt through Rayan's arm. The metal plate cracked. The third hunter moved behind him, ready to strike. Alira screamed, "Rayan, move!" He threw himself to the side just as the spear slammed into the ground where he stood. The force shook the entire square. Sharp stones flew in every direction. Rayan crawled back toward Alira while keeping the broken plate between him and the hunters. "We cannot outrun them like this." Alira said, her voice shaking, "You must free me, or neither of us will survive." Rayan looked at the stone still wrapped around her legs. The cracks he created were deep, but not enough. He placed both hands on the surface again. His palms burned the moment he touched it. The light inside Alira pulsed through the cracks, flowing into him. His heartbeat matched the vibration of the stone. The hunters noticed it. "Stop him," one of them shouted. "If she awakens the light, we'll choose him as guardian." "Kill him now," Rayan pressed harder. The stone hummed loudly. Thin lines of glow spread downward. Alira cried out, but encouraged him, "Do not stop. I can feel it breaking." The first hunter ran at full speed. Rayan barely had time to react. A spear came down straight toward him. Alira lifted her hand, and a small flash of light erupted from her palm. It pushed the spear sideways just enough for Rayanne to avoid it. The light faded immediately. Alira fell back, breathing hard. "That was all I could do," she whispered. "Hurry," Rayanne pressed again. Heat shot up his arms. His vision blurred for a moment, but he kept going. More cracks spread. The stone began to crumble under his fingers, but the hunters were not slowing down. The second hunter grabbed Rayanne by the shoulder and threw him across the ground. He landed hard, scraped his elbow, and rolled until his back hit a pillar. His body ached, but he forced himself up again. The hunters advanced slowly, confident now. "You cannot win, human one," said. "You are weak. You stand against warriors who have ended hundreds like her. Walk away, and we might let you live." Rayanne looked at Alira. Her glow flickered weak like a dying flame. She met his eyes. "Please do not leave me." Her voice broke something inside him. Rayanne clenched his jaw. "I am not walking away." The first hunter lunged again. Rayanne dodged and grabbed a long metal pipe from the rubble. He swung it with all his strength. It hit the hunter's mask with a loud crack. The hunter staggered but did not fall. Their armor absorbed most of the impact. Rayanne moved fast. He ran back to Alira, ignoring the pain in his ribs. He pressed his hands to the stone again. This time, he pushed with everything he had. Every bit of fear, anger, and determination poured into that final push. The stone reacted violently. A deep crack shot through it. A blue flash burst outward. The entire block split in two. Alira collapsed forward, free at last, her legs trembling under her. Own weight, but they were not safe. The hunters roared in rage. The second and third hunter charged. Alira tried to stand, but stumbled. Her legs were weak after being trapped for so long. Rayanne grabbed her arm and pulled her up. "We need to move now," he said. They ran. Not fast, not steady, but moving. The hunters were right behind them. Their armor clattered, their spears glowed. Rayanne helped Alira through narrow ruins and broken walls. The village was full of sharp turns and collapsed buildings, which gave them a small advantage. But the hunters were closing in. A spear flew past Rayanne's head. It hit a wall and exploded in sparks. Alira stumbled again. Rayanne lifted her arm over his shoulder and kept running. His lungs burned, his legs felt heavy, but he refused to slow down. Behind them, the hunters, voices echoed through the ruins. "Run all you want, human. You cannot escape the night." Rayanne looked forward, searching for any opening, any place, to hide any chance to survive. A narrow alley appeared between two broken towers. "This way," he whispered. They rushed inside just as the hunters reached the entrance. The great chase had only begun. Rayanne and Alira rushed into the narrow alley, their footsteps echoing against the cracked stone walls. The hunters' heavy steps followed close behind, growing louder and faster. The air inside the alley was cold and thin. Every breath burned Rayanne's lungs. Alira leaned against him, her legs shaking with every step. She had only been free for a few moments, and already she was forced to run for her life. "We cannot keep going like this," Alira said, her voice barely above a whisper. "My legs are too weak." Rayanne scanned the path ahead. The alley split into two tunnels formed by collapsed roofs. Shadows stretched everywhere. If they chose wrong, they would be trapped. If they stopped, the hunters would find them in seconds. "Just a little more," Rayanne said. "We need distance behind them." The hunters shouted orders. "Corner them. Do not let them hide." Their voices bounced off the walls, making it hard to tell where they were coming from. Rayanne pulled Alira down the left tunnel, hoping it led somewhere open. But the path ended in a dead, silent courtyard, surrounded by broken windows and burned doorways. A trap. Alira grabbed Rayanne's arm tightly. Her eyes flickered. "They are coming. I can feel their anger. They fear the light becoming strong again. Rayon looked around quickly. There was no way out except the path they came from. The hunters would appear any moment. Rayon felt his chest tighten. He could not fight them alone. Alira could barely stand. They had no weapons, nothing but rubble. Unless the light inside. Her was more than just a glow. Alira, can you use your power again? Like before, when you pushed the spear aside, she shook her head weakly. I used the last of my strength that moment. The light inside me is waking, but slowly. It only reacts fully when I am free and when someone believes in me. Rayon looked into her glowing eyes. I believe in you. I am not leaving you. Alira's breath caught. For a moment, her glow brightened. Then it dimmed again. Before Rayon could say, more shadows stretched at the tunnel entrance. The three hunters stepped inside the courtyard, blocking the only exit. Their bone armor scraped the walls. Their spears hummed with cold energy. The first hunter raised his weapon. You freed her, human. That alone is a crime worthy of death. The second hunter tapped the ground with his spear. But the light in her chest belongs to us. Step away or be destroyed. Alira stepped in front of Rayon, even though her legs trembled. I will not go with you. I was not born to be your tool, the third hunter scoffed. You were born to be controlled. You were sealed for a reason. Your people understood that. This human does not moved beside her. You fear her. That is why you buried her. Not because she is dangerous, but because you are afraid of her power. The hunters stiffened. The first hunter lowered his spear at Rayon's throat. Human, you speak boldly for someone who has no future. Rayon took a slow breath. Maybe, but I am not letting you take her. The hunter thrust forward, lightning fast. But before the spear could reach him, Alira's glow exploded like a wave of blue fire. The light rushed around Rayon, forming a thin barrier. The spear hit the barrier and slid off harmlessly. The hunter stepped back, startled. Alira fell to her knees, breathing hard. I cannot hold it for long. The light needs time to rise. Rayon knelt beside her. Her glow warmed his skin. It felt alive, like a heartbeat wrapped around them both. You saved me, he whispered. Now let me save you. He stood and grabbed a long metal rod from the debris. It was bent and rusty, but it was all he had. The hunters watched him amused. You challenge us with scrap metal? One sneered. Rayon lifted the rod. I do not need to beat you. I just need to buy her time. The hunters rushed forward. Rayon swung the rod with all his strength. It hit the first hunter's mask and cracked the bone plate. The hunter staggered but recovered quickly. He slammed his spear into Rayon's side. Rayon fell but rolled out of reach before the next strike hit the ground. Alira's glow grew brighter. She pressed her hands to the cracked earth. Blue lines spread outward like roots. The second hunter leaped at Rayon. Rayon dodged barely. His muscles burned. Sweat dripped down his face. He looked toward Alira. Her eyes were glowing like two small stars. Rayon, stand back. She whispered. The ground began to shake. The hunters sensed it too late. A sudden wave of blue light burst from Alira's body. It expanded like a shockwave, blasting across the courtyard. The hunters were thrown back into the walls, armor cracking, bone masks breaking. Their spears fell from their hands. Alira's glow rose higher around her like a pillar of blue fire. Rayon watched in awe, unable to speak. She had awakened, but the fury of her power was only beginning. The courtyard glowed with soft blue light as Alira slowly rose to her feet. Her legs trembled, but she no longer looked weak. Her glow was brighter than before, warm and steady like a growing sunrise. Rayon watched her carefully. She looked different now, stronger, calmer, and aware of something deep inside herself. The hunters lay scattered across the broken walls, struggling to stand. Their bone masks were cracked. Their armor had dark fractures running through it. They stared at Alira with a mix of fear and disbelief. One of them whispered, "Impossible." She awakened without the ritual. Another said the light is bonding with the human. That should not be possible. Alira stepped forward, her glow pushing the dust away from her feet. She looked at the hunters with quiet sadness, not anger. "You trapped me because you feared the light. But you never tried to understand it." The first hunter groaned and stood leaning on his spear. "The light destroys worlds. It corrupted your ancestors. It drove entire lands to madness." Alira shook her head. "That is the lie your leaders told you." Rayan listened carefully. He had heard many legends during his training, but nothing like this. Alira turned to him, her eyes glowing brighter. "Rayan, I must tell you the truth. The light is not a weapon. It is the core energy of my world. Every generation it awakens inside one child. That child becomes guardian of life. The guardian keeps the balance between the sky and the ground, between the ocean and the firestorms." She placed a hand on her chest. "I am that child." Rayan blinked. "Then why did they bury you?" Alira looked at the sky as if remembering something distant. "Because this time the light reacted to something new. Humans, when I was young, the light inside me would glow whenever your kind appeared on our scanners. No one understood why. My people grew afraid. They believed the light wanted to leave this world and follow humans." Rayan felt a chill. "But that makes no sense. Why would it choose humans?" Alira looked at him quietly. "Because humans carry a different kind of energy, not from stars or from storms. From choices. When a human decides to help, it creates a spark that the light can feel." The second hunter spat on the ground. "Your words are poison. Humans bring war. They bring machines that swallow forests. We sealed you because the light must not fall into their hands." Alira shook her head slowly. "You sealed me because you were afraid the light would judge your hearts. It can sense truth. It can sense fear. And it can sense greed." Rayan stepped closer. "So the light inside you reacts to belief and intention?" Alira nodded. "Yes. When you touched the stone, you believed I deserved to live. The light trusted you. That is why the stone cracked. That is why I awakened." The third hunter rose to his feet, furious. "Enough. The bond between human and light must not continue." He raised his spear and charged. Alira lifted her hand. A soft wave of blue energy slid across the ground like a quiet breeze. It hit the hunter's legs and sent him crashing face first into the dirt. His spear slipped away. She looked at the hunters with sorrow. "I do not want to hurt you, but I will not let you harm him." Rayan felt a strange warmth move into his hands. He looked down. Thin strands of blue light curled around his fingers, climbing up his arms like living threads. He felt stronger, lighter, and aware of every movement around him. "Alira, what is happening to me?" She turned to him calmly. "The light is sharing itself with you. Not fully. Only enough to protect you. It senses your heart and knows you want to save life, not destroy it." One of the hunters crawled back, staring at Rayan. "This is forbidden. The light has never chosen an outsider." Alira's glow pulsed. "Then this is the first time. And I will not let you stop it." The hunters looked at each other. Their fear was clear now. Rayan could see it in their movements, the way they stepped back the way. Their hands shook. Rayan looked around the courtyard. "What happens now, Alira? What does the light want us to do?" Alira took a slow breath. Her glow softened but remained steady. "My world is dying, Rayan. Without a guardian, the storms will rise, the oceans will turn black, and the sky will break. I was meant to restore balance. But now the light wants something more. It wants a guardian who understands both worlds." "Mine and yours." Rayan's heart beat faster. "You mean both of us?" Alira met his eyes. "Yes. If we stand together, the light can save this world. But the hunters will call others, stronger ones. They will not stop until one of us falls. The wind shifted. A distant roar echoed across the ruins. More were coming, and now both Alira and Rayan carried the light. The real war was just beginning. The ground rumbled beneath Rayan's boots as a cold wind swept through the broken courtyard. Alira stood beside him, her glow steady and rising like a small blue sun. The fallen hunters stared at them with wide eyes, their fear growing as the sky above flickered with strange light. A roar echoed from the distant mountains. It was deeper, louder, and heavier than before. Alira's voice was soft but urgent. They are calling the High Hunters. They are stronger, faster, and they obey no rules. If they reach us, we cannot hide. Rayan tightened his fists. The blue strands of light wrapped around his fingers trembled gently as if sensing the danger too. He looked at Alira. Then we faced them together. I am not leaving you, Alira's eyes softened. For a brief moment, despite the chaos, she smiled. The light chose well, the roar grew louder. The sky cracked open with a streak of violet lightning. From the clouds dark shapes descended. Large armored figures riding winged beasts with metal claws. Their armor was thicker, sharper, and carved with ancient symbols. The High Hunters. The first hunter on the ground whispered in terror. Run while you can, human. They do not spare anyone. Rayan did not move. Alira placed her hand on his arm. Her glow pulsed through him, sending warmth into his chest. Do not be afraid, she said. When the light awakens inside a guardian, it responds to truth, not force. If we stand firm, the light will protect us. The High Hunters landed with heavy thuds surrounding the courtyard. Dust rose in clouds around them. Their spears glowed with red lightning. Their wings folded behind them like sharp blades. One stepped forward. His armor was black with silver marks. His voice echoed through his helmet. Child of light, you were sealed by your own people. Your awakening brings danger to all. Surrender or be destroyed. Alira stepped forward, her glow rising. I will not surrender. I am guardian of life. This world is dying, and I will restore it. The High Hunter pointed his spear at Rayan. And the human must die. The light must not fuse with his kind. Rayan felt the heat of anger rise inside him. I am not taking anything from her. I am helping her save her world. If that makes me your enemy, then so be it. The High Hunter raised his spear. A surge of red lightning shot toward Rayan like a burning arrow. Alira reached out instinctively. The light burst from her body, forming a shield in front of Rayan. The red lightning hit the shield and scattered into sparks. Alira's knees shook, but she did not fall. The High Hunter growled. Your power is unstable. You are newly awakened. You cannot protect him for long. Rayan stepped beside her. His heart raced, but he did not step back. Together they looked at the ring of hunters tightening around them. Alira whispered, "Place your hand on mine." Rayan did. The moment their hands touched, a rush of warmth flooded through his body. The blue light spread from Alira into him, brighter, stronger, thicker. It wrapped around their arms and pulsed like a single heartbeat. The ground beneath them glowed. The High Hunters charged, spears pointed, wings spread. The sound of metal hitting stone shook the whole courtyard. Rayan lifted his free hand. The blue glow around him expanded, forming a dome of light. The first spear struck it and bounced off. The second spear hit the side and cracked the earth instead. The hunters pushed harder, shouting in fury. Alira whispered, "Hold the light with me. Do not think of fear. Think of why you stayed." Rayan closed his eyes for a moment. He thought of finding her buried weak, alone, begging for help. He thought of choosing to stay, even when he stays. Even when he could have run. He thought of her. Trust, he opened his eyes. The light exploded. Outward, a blast of blue energy shot across the courtyard, knocking the high hunters off their feet. Their winged beasts roared in panic. The ground split in glowing lines. Dust flew like a storm. The hunters fell. Rayan and Alira stood alone in the center of a ring of shattered. Stone Alira's glow dimmed slowly, stabilizing into a warm, steady light. She breathed deeply. The light accepts you, Rayan. You are its partner now. Rayan felt the warmth settle inside his chest. Not overpowering, but calm like a promise. The remaining hunters crawled back, defeated. None dared to rise again. Alira turned to Rayan. You freed me. You believed in me when my own people did not. Now the light belongs to both of us. Together we can restore this world. Rayan looked at the ruins around them, then at the sky slowly clearing. We will do it. Whatever it takes, Alira extended her hand to him. Then our journey begins. He took her hand without hesitation. Behind them, the broken courtyard glowed softly, as if the world itself knew a new guardian had risen, and humanity had stepped beside her. A new hope had begun.